Good afternoon, everybody. Rob Alex here with another Make Peace with Life podcast coming to you. I almost said shortcast, which would have been an error because this is the longer version of the podcast fully in there. First of all, I want to thank you guys. This is we're into the show now, but you guys are making it super successful. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Keep doing those things. It's a wonderful ride, and I'm glad to share this stuff with you. Make sure to get over to the website, check out the blog, check out the books, the shirts, all that stuff. Get over there and check it out and become part of the member. I want to see your pictures in the community page. Send me your pictures with how you're making peace with life. Offer suggestions for people to be on the podcast. I'd love to start doing interviews now that we're getting into a little bit more of the podcast. I'd love to start doing some interviews and talking to other people about how they make peace with life and learn and grow myself as this movement keeps taking me forward into life, and it keeps taking you forward into this life as well. And you're part of on this journey as well. So let's get into the show today. Got a lot of some very good topics to talk about today. And the first one is titled, I'm hungry. Hunger is one of those words that can mean some different things to people. One of my passions in life is feeding the hungry. So part of every shirt, anything that we sell for Make Peace with Life goes to end some hunger somewhere. I don't think there'll ever be an end to hunger, but I think that I want to do my part to feed people. My feeling on hunger as it relates to not having enough to eat is that the world produces our food. The planet Earth produces food, whether it be animals, if you're not vegetarian and you eat meat. If you're vegetarian, it supplies the plants that you eat. Everything we eat comes basically from the earth. It is not We did not create most of it. Now, I know there's some genetically modified things out there that totally might have been created in a lab, and we'll probably get into more of those as we go forward in technology. But as of right now, the earth supplies us with the items that we eat in one shape or form or another. And I'm not ruling out farmers or anything like that they should be paid, but I think it's very unhumanistic that anybody should be allowed to go hungry. There's enough food in this world for everywhere, for everyone, just not at the right places at the right times in some cases. But hunger is a big thing for me. And, people can say things like, well, these people need to get jobs or whatever, but some of these are children that are starving, and they don't have that opportunity to get a job, to make their own money, to make their own way. And I just, it's hard to even think about being hungry. Fortunately enough, myself or my children or anybody associated with me, I've never known anybody that was literally starving or that hungry, to where they're hurting or not, where it's affecting their health. I've been lucky in that sense for myself, but there's people all over the world that this is happening to. And and it's happened throughout history in various parts. There's been famines and things like that. So that's why I give a portion of everything that I make to a hunger organization, so that we can do our little part. It takes very little money to feed a person, to give them enough sustenance to stay alive in that fact, or to build some strength back up. So please, do what you can if you can there, whether it's helping out, giving back. We had a podcast earlier about how you can help out. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. There's other ways to do that, things like that. So please, but with that hunger, yes, that is there. That can be very sad, very depressing in that sense of being a human being and knowing that other people are suffering. But there's another type of hunger that I want to talk about, and that is a hunger to do something, to make a difference, to create something. Uh, think of all the great people that have created stuff: artists, musicians, um, people that create products. They have a hunger to do something. They have a hunger to promote their art, their craft, their skill. They have a hunger for that. And I think it's vitally important for people that want to get out there and do something positive in the world to have that hunger. And this is a great hunger. This is far different from the hunger that we were talking about before, to where people are starving. This hunger is a hunger to do something, to make a difference, to be so. Technically, you could have a hunger to end hunger. Sounds so strange, but it's actually true. But hunger is a driving force in the second way that we're talking about it. Um, you talk about people that come from not having things, people that grew up with nothing, and the hunger that pushes them towards uh, having a better lifestyle, having a better world, whether it's by getting education, coming up with a product, offering a service that's valuable to others. There's a hunger for those people because they want to get to a better place. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be at the lowest of the low to have that hunger. There's a lot of different things out there that can drive people and create that hunger in them to do something, whether it's like me right here. I'm not starving. I'm not at the low. I've got a nice house. I've got a nice car. I'm in no way struggling, but I have a hunger to share this message with everybody out there. And I think hunger is one of those driving forces that can make you do things, step out of your comfort zone, uh, make you look at the world in a different way. It's a wonderful thing. This is hunger is that's going to be the subject of my next book that's coming out. If you've got the Make Peace with Life book, hunger will be the topic of the next one, and we'll go into this in a lot more detail. I'm hoping to have that out by Christmas time this coming year. But it's a fascinating topic to me because it drives people in so many different ways. Um, whether it's technology and people wanting to create the next great thing in that way, or if it's just artists that are creating a wonderful work of art. And there's a difference in that hunger, because one is probably doing it more for a monetary gain, and the other is doing it more for a satisfaction in them. So there's all different kinds of hunger that we have out there. I often relate to sports stars of having a hunger. You can be the biggest, you can be the strongest, but if you don't have that hunger and that desire to do that, um, chances are that you're going to fall flat, or, not reach the goals that somebody that has a stronger hunger, a stronger desire to do those things. You look at some of the great sports athletes of our time, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, the list goes on. One of my favorite baseball players, Johnny Bench of all time. They had a hunger. They wanted to make their craft the best that they could do it. And did they have more of a hunger than other people? Probably. They had more of a desire, more of a burning inside them that they wanted to do it. And I think that's an interesting topic. And that's why I'm going to write a book about it, because hunger is a driving force. If once we get past the starvation hunger definition and get to the hunger of wanting to do something or having the desire to do something, that's a great hunger. I think that's a great hunger to have, as long as it doesn't push you over the edge to where you're hurting others because of your hunger to desire something. So there's fine lines with everything, and that's what makes life so amazing, and that's why we have to make peace with life, because those things can push us over the edge, or put us in a position to where we take away from others or we hurt others. So always think of that as you're striving to be the best person you can be, and striving to satisfy the hungers that you have within inside yourself. Make sure you know the steps that you're crossing over as you get there, so that you're not hurting others in that situation. So hunger, think about it. Send me some comments on what you think about hunger and how it has either helped your life or harmed your life in that situation, and see what we can talk about more on that subject. Our next topic today is strictly something that I do, and I'm going to share it with you Sunday mornings as these podcasts comes out on Sunday. Sunday morning is my what I call my bike ride day. So I love to get on my bike. I have a course, approximately takes me about an hour to hour 15 minutes to ride it. Um, and sometimes I ride it faster. I don't check the distance necessarily on this, but this is from my house. I don't load my bike on my car, which I do that sometimes too, and go out and ride different trails. We have a wonderful trail that we ride that's close here, Marine Creek Parkway. That's a great ride, but you have to take the bike on the car to go do that. This was riding from my house. I go through where I live has been growing so fast. It's been growing fast. So I started doing this as a way of seeing what was going on, seeing the new houses that were built, the new businesses that are being built up and around, and keeping track of how fast they're growing and things like that. But this bike ride has evolved. It has evolved into something more spiritual, as more of a spiritual, metaphysical enjoyment than just the exercise that I was wanting to do. You know, I'm like, I need to get out, I need to exercise. So I combined it with this metaphysical practice. Now, this is how I go about it. So get ready. I like to go when it's hot. I do like to ride when it's hot. I like to ride when it's cool too, but I don't mind riding when it's hot. So I usually do it a little bit later in the morning, before lunch, usually. That's my favorite time to go. Come back, eat lunch, shower after I get done with the bike ride. But I decide what time I'm going to go. I get my card. I get my earpods and put in. I pick an artist. I pick a singular artist. I just did a blog post not too long ago about it, and the Ramones were the focus of that. I listened to the Ramones, so I'll just listen to their songs on my playlist, and it'll just keep going and going and going. Now, it might be the Ramones one time. It'll be other artists other days. Some of my artists I like. I love the Dirty Heads. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love Mod Sun. There's many more that I like, but those are some of my big ones that kind of come up over and over and over. Billy Idol's another big fan. Congratulations on getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Billy. All those things, those are but I set it to that one artist, and I listen to that one artist because each ride is an individual ride, and I think of it like each artist, as I'm listening to their music and their songs over and over, there's a progression, and for example, Red Hot Chili Peppers, some of their earlier music from, True Men Don't Kill Coyotes is much different from what they're playing now. So you feel the progression, you feel how they grow as you're riding. And I think that's a beautiful thing with the ride as well, because your ride's evolving as it goes. And as you're listening to this music, and if you can put them in chronological order, that's awesome, but it doesn't have to go that way with the artist. As the music comes up, it starts to breed into you, and the ride progresses as the music progresses. And music is a big thing, so I'm combining two things. I love to exercise, I love to listen to music, and in this sense I'm combining them both. But then another amazing thing happened, because I turn my music down loud enough so I can hear it, but I can hear everything around me too, so I'm safe. Very important to be safe always, if you're on a bike ride. So I can hear other things. So as I'm listening to this music, I might hear the birds chirping, or I might hear some children playing. I rode by the pool the other day, and there was lots of activities going on, splashing and kids screaming and stuff. And it blended in with the music, and it was fabulous. It's something that I didn't really think about, but it was like a soundtrack to my soundtrack, if that makes any sense. So it was hearing the nature sounds of the daily sounds of life mixed in with my music. It's almost like I was in a movie, kind of like with the soundtrack playing behind. It was crazy. But then it also, when I'm on my bike, I notice things that I don't notice when I'm driving in the car. When I'm driving in the car, it's very here, go to that place. You start to notice things, the color of the leaves, the flowers that are blooming. There was these beautiful, I don't even know what they were. The day's ride, there was these beautiful trees that had these purple flowers that make the tree look beautiful, but they were all over the ground. And so I was riding through this like purple field of fallen flowers. It was kind of magical in that sense. But you see things like, you notice the little streams that are running under the highway. You notice the construction. If there's on Sunday, there's not always a lot of guys out doing construction because they're building a lot of houses around here. But you'll see every once in a while, and you hear the tapping of the hammers and watching. We don't usually assume that building of a house is a natural thing, but it is kind of like a plant growing up as you watch it grow from the ground where there's nothing there, and then the skeleton of the house forms, and then the siding comes in, and then they finish up the driveway, and then they put the sod down, and then it's a completed house. It's almost like how a flower blooms. It blooms up, and then it's a bud, and then but those are the things I start to notice on the bike rides as I'm going out and about, is that I'm more present. I'm more aware. Even though I'm riding my bike, I'm exercising, I'm listening to music, and this might overwhelm a lot of you out there, but I'm listening to music. I'm hearing the sounds of the neighborhood, the children, the flowers, or not the flowers, they don't make a whole lot of sound, but the birds chirping, the animal, the wildlife, the dogs barking, things like that. And then all the nature and the beauty that's around me too. It's like this overload of amazing things all happening at one, combining into one activity. And that's why my bike rides on Sunday morning are so special to me. I just get out by myself on the Sunday morning ones usually, and it's refreshing. It's invigorating. It fills my life with such joy. Try it sometimes, and it might not be bike riding for you. It might just be a walk. I know some wonderful people that just do the same thing, but they do it on a walk. Very positive, another very positive thing, or whatever it is for you, whatever kind of activity, whatever kind of movement that you like to do. That's great. Even if it's a drive, if you're unable to walk, if you're unable to ride a bike, and you can get out and take a slow drive, hit the slower places, do that. So another great way to make peace with life. You're going to get tired of me saying that, but it's never going to go away. Next topic we're moving on to is the trust the energy you feel. How many of you actually trust the energy that you feel? Now, some people might call this intuition. Some people might call it that gut feeling that you have. And I think it's very important to take notice of it if you don't act on it, but to take notice of your feeling. I know a lot of times when I meet a person for the first time, I can almost automatically tell if we're going to get, not that I would not get along with people, but that if there's a more special bond with somebody, if you connect with them better right from the start. There doesn't have to be any interaction. There doesn't have to be anything, but when they walk in the room or you walk in the room, there's just this connection, this energetic connection, and that can be friendly. And you might not have ever seen the person before. This might be the very first time that you've ever seen them. And you guys, for some reason, you just hit it off. There's that energy exchange that goes there. Can be a coworker. People have coworkers they get along with better than others. And it's an energy thing. But it branches so much out farther into people. Like, for example, your car. Do you ever go car shopping and, how many times you go through cars and you're like, no, that one just doesn't feel right. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's not that it's bad, but it's just not the car you resonate with, the car that you energetically connect with. Same way with when I was looking for a house. It was like I was looking at several different houses and I was like, this one's just not quite right. This one's not quite right. You don't want to settle for something that's lesser energetically wise than what you want. So you want something that blends. People do this with pets too. A great thing that I saw, and I thought this was an amazing way for people to get a pet, but it was to allow the pet to pick the owner. So they'd set all these people in a room, and then they let a dog or a cat or whatever. Usually, those are the two type of animals. People don't let snakes usually choose their owners, or iguanas or anything like that. But dogs and cats are very particular, and they have a sense. They sense energy too, and so the people would all agree that whoever the dog or cat ran up to, that would be the owner. And it was amazing how the dogs, um, of course, it was mostly dogs that in the video I saw, but how the dogs would just run up to a certain person and just almost like jump on them, like, yes, you are my person. It was such an energetic feel to that. And it was so powerful and so wonderful to see, because not only did the dog get overly excited that this was my person, but a lot of times you would see the people break down and tear up because they were chosen by this animal to become their new owner. And I think that was super powerful, that they allowed the animals to trust the energy that they were feeling and find that special owner of their own. Um, it's very powerful, and there's a lot of ways that we need to trust the energy. You're looking for a job. If a job doesn't feel right to you, um, really look at it. I'm not saying don't take it um, uh, or pass it by, but really look at it. If it doesn't feel right to you, maybe it's not right for you. But you need to look at it. I mean, take a deeper dive into it, see more about it. Because I'm not telling you not to take a job if you need money, obviously, but I think you should trust those things. When you go to, a lot of times when I go to pick out a book to read, sometimes it's an energetic feel where it's like, this book just feels right. It calls to me. The cover is my style. Just the feel of it um, thrills me with desire, that I want to read it. Same with television shows. As I'm flipping through the TV, which I don't do a whole lot of, and I'm looking at shows and I'm like, no, that one doesn't resonate with me. That one doesn't resonate with me. That one doesn't resonate. Then bam, one hits me and I'm like, that's the show I want to watch. And sometimes, most of the time, it works out pretty well. There's sometimes it's a dud, but I trust that energy and I trust that feeling. Same way you got to trust that energy in all aspects of life. If you're doing something that you don't feel is right, um, it doesn't resonate with you. If you're going skydiving and you get up in that plane and it doesn't feel right, maybe you shouldn't do it. That's a kind of an extreme example, but there's lesser examples. Maybe you're picking a restaurant. Trust. I guess the big thing is for me that I think we so often want to brush off that feeling um, of energetic feeling as like, oh, it's just something silly. It's something I don't want to do, whether it be picking a restaurant for dinner, or choosing a new car, uh, picking out a shirt, anything like that. Trust the energy that you're feeling, and why are you feeling that? Our bodies are more connected with the energies of the earth and everything around us than we want to believe. And I think it's important for us to start to trust that feeling, that intuition. Moms, for instance, have that intuition because they want to protect their children. So not only in the human beings, but in animal species as well, they have that knowledge that something's not right, and they will protect their children in whatever way they can to help avoid that. But they have a sense of that. They know. A lot of people probably out there don't believe in ghosts or the paranormal. I have my own take on that, but there's also energy associated with that. And animals, for example, are a great conductor of that because they have a deeper sense a lot of times than the human beings do. And their reactions sometimes can tell when an energy being might be in the house that you're in or the room that you're in. Not to scare anybody out there or anything. I don't believe ghosts are bad. I think they're energetic beings, as well as us, just on a different plane, in a different level of existence than what we are. And I think we pick up on that sometimes too. Have you ever had that feeling, just that hair on the back of your neck raise up, or the goosebumps on you? Trust those feelings. They're there for a reason. They're not just something we make up. That is your body, your energy, and your body connecting to try to tell you something. Whether it's maybe it's just pay more attention, or maybe it's like, hey, stop what you're doing. Let's look at this a little closer before we do it. So as we go through life, start to trust that energy that you feel. I don't think it's unrealistic to tell you to do that, because if nothing more than it makes you slow down and look at something a little bit more. Not saying that it's always, oh, I got to stop this, I can't do this. But I think it's a warning sign to us. Our body's telling us, our mind, our consciousness, something is telling us to be more aware, be more present, and to trust those energetic feelings that we're feeling. So those are the three big topics I wanted to talk about today. As with all the podcasts I've been ending with is our energetic pool that we do. I started this a few short casts ago, to where we want to fill a pool with energy. Pool is a metaphoric. We don't have a container for it. I always tell people to just look into the mountains on my shirt and focus your positive energy into there. For those of you out there that are needing some help, needing some assistance, having bad time or whatever, I want you to pull from that pool of energy. Again, energy is our human, spiritual, metaphysical energy is unlimited. So we're going to pump as much in there as we can. And for those of you that are struggling a little bit, you can pull from our energy, because we want to help each other out. That's part of making peace with life. So we're going to sit here for about 30 seconds and be still. And I want everybody to focus energy into the mountains of my shirt. That's where our energetic pool is going to be today and every day. And then those of you that need a little boost, need a little pick-me-up, pull some of that energy out. That's what it's there for. So we're going to sit here for a minute. And it's so hard for me to be quiet a lot of times, but we're going to sit here in quiet. Filling that pool up. I can feel it. I can feel everybody's energy coming through. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it. And now I'm visualizing some of it going out to help those that need it, those that need the help, that need the assistance. We are here for you. We are pulling for you. We want everything to work out perfectly for you. That is the way that we love to make peace with life. Okay, just a few more seconds. We're filling it up. Keeping it full. All right, everybody, there we are. We are done with another podcast from Make Peace with Life. So go out, have some fun, trust your energy. If you get some time to exercise on a bike or walk or whatever, go out and do that. And look at your hunger. What are you hungry for? What are you, maybe it's a sandwich right now, or maybe it's something deeper. Maybe it's to give back. That's what this is for me, a hunger for me to give back to people. And we will see you on the next podcast, on the next shortcast. We are here for you. We love you. And we are hoping that everybody out there makes peace with life.